Alright, hello everyone. We're back here for another tutorial, tour 10. Pushing away here. Hole 3, we've got a couple times. This will be another aided wind benefit to see kind of another perspective. Here we're getting a headwind case. So that's exactly kind of what I want to see. This is actually a very, very challenging wind, especially if it's coupled with another tailwind, headwind behind itself. So what you'll see most guys do that I've been seeing, they'll go around to the left here. This can be, this can make or break them when they make this decision. One thing that you want to make sure when you do this, that you do hit the fairway. Here you can see my opponent does get a good ball. Let's just see to make sure that he holds on here. Looks like he does. So that is going to, that's kind of step one. Another thing, bringing Guardian is going to put a lot of pressure on yourself as well. And if you get a second headwind, that is going to make that very hard. But that did get down disgustingly long. How did that even happen? Whew, I just would not expect the Puck 4 to go that far. In any regard, what you'll see me do is I'll kind of lay off a little bit. So here you can see what I'm doing with my spin, and I'll go landscape and go this way. So here you're going to see me cheat the left-hand side of the fairway a little bit. What you'll see is I'll usually landscape this. Perfect ball. You have to definitely land left half. So there you can see me land right on the center. In fact, here you're going to see why, because it's shooting down towards the right. And when you pull this off, keep in mind without the landscape mode, iPhone users, in the headwind case, it's going to be too challenging to probably pull off what I just did. And here you can see, my opponent did get a massive drive, which is actually going to kind of help his calls. But, had, not gone full throttle with a Titan, plus got all that extra rollout. That was a very nice rollout, generous. It doesn't always happen. I've seen it, get snagged up. And it can put a lot of pressure on getting towards this green when you go left. But here you can see situationally, you can still get away with it. You probably want to hit just a little bit better than that. But nevertheless, still a pitch for the eagle. But let's see what we got. What I'll try to do is I'll try to play this, however I can to hopefully, try to give myself a reasonable chance to make it here. And it looks like I'm right at min club here, right on min, the way this is set up. And what I'll do is I'll kind of keep the ball guide just a little bit long through the hole intentionally. And we'll need to do a little bit of an over adjustment here, just a tiny bit, to a tiny degree. So I'm going to go 10 rings here for an 11 wind, which is kind of like a mid club adjustment. Here it shoots in towards the hole and just missing for albatross. So it really gives you a very nice, reasonable chance when you go over towards the right-hand side like that. Keep in mind, in the case of the tailwind, you almost are forced to go left, unfortunately. So you can see kind of where my opponent stacked up against, with having to, intentionally go to that way. Does make this just a little bit more challenging. You do want to watch. You can see that my opponent's about to run over a whole bunch of weird mounds. And you really want to watch doing this shot when you have to do this. It can be very risky with the rapier going over all these mounds. And it's not something that I personally recommend. You'll see me playing much tighter towards the hole. If you guys want to see kind of the way that I would do it, you can look at my guide where I did it with an end bringer. And there you can see, even with the great ball plus the little bit extra, too much wind, just not enough to get that one to drop. But in any regard, you got a little extra perspective because I have yet to go that way, and you really honestly might not see me go left. because of the clubs that I have. But if you do need a guide to go off of, you know, doing what my opponent just did there is virtually what he wanted to do, except he didn't do that overplay for the second shot. When you get a massive headwind like that, you can't just play normal rings. You know, you need to go an extra 3 rings in that case. In my opponent's case, at least an extra 3 rings. And you need to set up aggressively on the north half of that fairway. And then play max plus about, you know, 3 rings. And that'll give you a very good, reasonable chance to be able to pull that off. But in any regard, you know, good luck with your guys' Tour 10 play, and be on the lookout for more guides coming up.